Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, Karen outs herself as office food thief. Don't worry, I will take really good care of you and your taxes. Entitled jerk refused to let me assist fainted pregnant woman. Homeless man accosted by security at the library. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Karen outs herself as office food thief. I work IT at a small non-profit. We have a kitchen/staff room and supply free coffee, tea, milk, sugar, etc. During the pandemic, all staff were working from home, but for the past few weeks, some staff have been coming back gradually, most for just 1 to 2 days a week, including myself and, unfortunately, Karen. Now Karen and I have had many run-ins over the years, and suffice to say we don't get along. I don't tolerate her BS. A week or so after being back, Karen sends a condescending email to the office manager, CCing all staff. In it she says that, while she accepts that the office kitchen had not been stocked while everyone was on lockdown, she is appalled that there is no bread, bagels, yogurts, etc. for staff that have returned. Replies, adding CCing all staff. Karen. As a courtesy to staff, we provide free coffee, tea, milk, and sugar, all of which have been stocked. We have never proved free bread, bagels, yogurts, or other food. However, staff do keep personal food items in the refrigerator. No comments so far. This happened last Wednesday. Someone should reply all with just. You should reply all saying your bread always seemed to disappear faster than you were using it. I went to a very small college. We all had a refrigerator for all the students who wanted to store their food. One day, there was a food thief. I wanted to stop the food thief. So what I did was I made a ghost pepper pizza. I put some ghost pepper sauce in the marinara, and I heard a howl come from the kitchen. The food thief outed themselves, and since then, we haven't had a problem with food thieves. Oh my gosh, ha 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 ha, how dare you all close her personal pantry. What was the general response, especially hers? Guess it never occurred to her to ask if anyone was bringing their own lunch or break snacks. Just assumed it was provided. Another product of no basic positive values, the consideration of others, being one of them. I brought food to eat, really awful by anybody else's standards, basically gray gruel with seasoning. I sat down and a woman sat down in front of me with my food. I told her it was my food and she got angry and insisted it was hers. I took it away and said it was mine and that it was not anything anybody else would want, and asked her to identify what it was. She couldn't, of course. I ate it then so she wouldn't. And from then on I left my goop outside just so no one would make me starve. I used to do this too. When I had to use a community office fridge, I pretty much only brought either the stinkiest tuna sandwich or French onion soup. I eventually managed to finagle a mini fridge for my office, then I brought in better food. LOL. We had a lady at work whose salad kept getting stolen. So one day she made a dressing with golightly, the colon clean out for colonoscopies, as the main ingredient. Her salad was never stolen again. Don't worry, I will take really good care of you and your taxes. Entitled jerk refused to let me assist fainted pregnant woman. Back in 2019, I was working for the French tax office in Toulouse. I, M36, was at the front desk for a busy day, full operated front desk, 4. Plus many other small cubicle for interviews, etc. As I was about to meet that entitled jerk, male Karen 50 to 60 I guess, a pregnant lady, in her 7th month, in the queue started to faint. She was, and baby too, lucky enough the people around her reacted fast enough to grab her and prevent her from hurting herself or the baby. She didn't want to annoy people by skipping the line even if she had the right to. They pulled a chair for her, and asked my colleagues and me for a glass of water. Now it happens sometimes that someone isn't feeling well or just needs some water. It wasn't one of those days. She soon properly and totally fainted and was out of it for good. We pulled her on the side so people wouldn't have to walk around her, in case there was some wasn't careful, and started to place her in the PLS position. Don't know how to say it in English, sorry, when you put the victim on her side so she don't swallow fluids/blood/vomit and drown. I used my phone to call for help, 16 for health problems in France like the 911 in US. They accompanied me all along and said help was on its way. She kept coming up and fainting over and over. I had to get help for a passerby who spoke Arabic as she wasn't in a state to properly answer my questions. When out, she didn't react to pressure or pain. I'm not sadistic, it was under instruction to see if she had a reaction. Now while all of that happened, male Karen was still at my station waiting for me to come back. I had only told him I had to check if the woman was fine or not. And never warned him how long it would take me. But, as all of this happened in front of everyone, it wasn't hard to see I wouldn't be able to conduct his interview. The guy still felt entitled to have me come back to my chair and conduct it. Even in this stressful situation, I maintained my calm and politely answered that I couldn't come back and that any of my colleagues would be perfectly fine and happy to take charge. The guy berated me and demanded I let the woman to be taken care of by someone not from our office. As it happened in our offices, we were responsible. That guy pissed me so much I pulled my most sadistic Heath Ledger Joker face, started rubbing my hands against each other, a gesture we don't do at scare people they think we will get off being sadists against them, and announced for the whole crowd, who heard the whole conversation. Don't worry SIR, please wait at my desk, I promise you I will take good care of you. I swear I wanted to put an audit on his ass, but strangely, I couldn't find him anymore when the medics finished to take the lady away. Both the lady and baby were able to get home the following day after a night in observation. Child in stroller didn't notice mom went sick, dad was able to leave work, get to our office and leave with his family and the healthcare personnel. PLS in English is the recovery position. I hope you audited him to the last centime. Didn't have his name, the lady fainted before he gave it to me. According to the colleague who received him. He was all sweet and soft after that. Kept checking if I came back toward him or made sign to my colleague or not. Wonder why. Messing up his taxes. What an interesting plan. If it were me, I'd trip him up or something. Every access is traced. But simply putting his name on the list we were going to audit was fair game and legit. I once was helping a man that had slipped on a puddle of water. Multiple people tapped me on the shoulder to tell me about the puddle a foot away as I was trying to help him. Good thing you knew how to address him and shut him down. Now, what happened to nasty landlady? Did you make sure she was exposed for her not reporting her income and paying taxes on it? BFF father took care of her. She ended up with an audit for the past 5 years. Had to pay the missing amount, late fine, penalty fine. For each year, of course. Kind of news we give with a, have a nice day. Homeless man accosted by security at the library. I am homeless. I don't do drugs, drink, or cause problems for anyone. I am working my ass off to get out of this situation. Because of that, the library is a vital resource for me. It's a place I go almost every day to use Wi-Fi, put resumes out, charge my phone and battery, and use the restroom in relative peace and comfort. The staff at the library are fantastic. They provide a safe, warm place with no social barriers. Everyone is welcome at the library. I have never had an issue with the library staff. In fact, the only issue before this was with a patron, and even that wasn't too bad. Well, that was until today. I don't know if you can refer to the security at the library as library staff. I believe they are outside contractors, but today while minding my own business, the security took issue with me. Now it is a Sunday, the library hours are a bit different, 1:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. And I arrived at opening exactly, my phone was super dead. And I went where I always go, a desk in the corner of the silent section. I sat down, plugged my phone and battery in, and began to charge, put resumes out, and look for any pickup job on Kijiji. It's something I have to do, I am getting desperate. I was at the back doing my thing for about an hour. It's Sunday, so the library is basically dead empty. There's like a total of 4 patrons, one of whom I know, he's an old guy, also homeless, a really decent man. I was sitting at my desk, and I see the security guard look at me, then start to walk towards me. He starts to talk to me, and I thought he was just bored and trying to start a friendly conversation. I was wrong. He started very simply, asked my name. I said it's Bobby, it's Robert or Rob, but I don't give my name out that easily. Asked how it's going, what I'm up to today. I told him, the usual, need the internet, look for work, charge, have some quiet time. That's when things got weird. He asked me, don't you have anywhere else to be? Where do you live? Things like that. It was a very unusual thing for a library security guard to ask, especially to someone just minding their own business and sitting quietly. I told him that's all personal information, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell you, and tried to excuse myself out of the conversation to get back to what I was doing. I turned back to my phone and tried to get back to what I was doing. Unfortunately, I think I offended the security guard because he got mad. He told me that he's going to need to see my identification. I asked why. I swear this guy had a few screws loose. He actually said he's the building security, he protects the library. Remember, I am really calm, I'm still even sitting down at the desk. I smirked at him and said, man, you're a security guard at the library, why are you hassling me? Like, what do you think? Do you think I'm going to steal a book, use the pages to make a sandwich? You know it's a library, books are free. I even have a library card. And yeah, pretty sure that made him burst a blood vessel because he was pissed. He told me to hand over my identification right now or get out. I said, look, I have done nothing wrong until a few minutes ago, I was just chilling here, minding my own business, not saying a word until you came stomping over. Now he's getting loud, raising his voice, saying I need your identification or I am calling the police. Thankfully, the librarian working the desk could hear what was going on and came over. I know the librarian, I see her every day. We have talked a lot, she's a really nice woman, we are on friendly terms. She asked what's going on, and the security says he has to give me his ID or get out. Now remember, I am still sitting down, calm, cool as a cucumber, but he was basically foaming at the mouth. She asked the guard, why do you need that? What happened? He said because he asked me and I refused. I said, hey man, I was just sitting here quiet, doing my thing, I don't want any part of this. To the librarian's credit, she's a really nice person. She asked what happened, why he came over. He said he wanted to check because he looks suspicious. She said it's not your job, why are you bothering guests? Then told him to come with her. They disappeared into one of the staff-only doors. And that was it. She came out a few minutes later and said she's sorry. I'm still sitting in the library as I type this out. The security is now sitting in a chair at the entrance. Every so often, I look over to see him just glaring at me. I have no idea why or how this happened. I believe that guy has some sort of mental issue, going from 0 to 100 real fast. Guy was on a power trip, give them the job title of security and suddenly they think they own the place. You weren't hurting anyone else, you were using the services of the library, which you have every right to do. He's the one making a scene. Oh, I know, that's why I'm still here sitting at the desk. I'm so glad the librarian had your back. That guard was an asshole and completely out of line. I worked in libraries for 16 years and I would have chewed him one too. I didn't care who came in, whether it was the president of Iceland or Chris the homeless guy, as long as they behaved themselves. Some of the worst behaved people were entitled old white men who had been faculty for 40 years. Or people that came in with rolling suitcases. I met many homeless people during that time, and it really opened my eyes to what it can be like in that situation and just how hard it can be to get out of it. There's so much stacked against you, and I hope you are able to find your way to a better situation. I've dealt with a security guard on a power trip. He was amazingly clueless and hopefully was fired after what he put me through at a hospital. If people aren't bothering anyone and they have the right to be where they are, then leave them alone. In some states, the actual cops can't just demand your ID without a crime being committed. Probably new to the location and untrained as to what his actual job is. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.